In this lesson, we'll learn how to work with metrics and define our own basic metrics. Let's work through an example to create a new metric group. But first, we need to load a workbook. So click the Fuse icon and open the sample workbook from recent workbooks. Click the S5 Diagnostics tab and click Fuse. Click on the Metrics tab to open the Metrics workspace. Then in the top menu, select New Group from the Metrics Group buttons. You will see that Metric Group 5 has now been created. In the name field of the right pane, rename it to My Group. For now, don't worry about the description and remarks fields, although it is usually important to complete these fields. You'll note that the new metric group has been renamed to My Group. Now let's create two basic metrics in our new metric group. We'll choose the basic metric for critical in the schedule quality group and copy it to our new group. So right-click on the critical metric and click Copy, then highlight My Group and click Paste. Next, copy the metric for number of lags from the schedule quality group and paste it into My Group. Now we have two new metrics in My Group. Next, we need to rename them. So highlight critical, then in the metric editor, rename it as critical new. Then let's rename our second metric to be float 0 to 10 days. So highlight it, then rename it in the editor. Now the inclusions will be the same for both metrics. So we'll create filters for the float metric. In the Filters pane, click on the existing field. Then from the pull-down, select Total Float. Change the operator to less than. Then type 0 into the field or value. That's the first line of our filter, and it defines the lower limit of total float. Now click Add to add a second line. This time we want to define the upper limit to total float. Again, the field will be total float. This time the operator will be less than or equals, and the value will be 10. You'll note that for both of our metrics, the radio button for basic has been selected. Now let's see how our new metric group works in our ribbon views. So select the tab for S5 Diagnostics and click Fuse. We want to create a brand new ribbon view to test our metric. Click on the icon to insert a new ribbon view. Then right-click on it and rename it to My Ribbon View. Now we need to add the My Group metrics to our new ribbon view. From the Diagnostics window, click on the left-hand Metrics tab. Then right-click on My Group, then click Add to Ribbon and Phase Analyzer. If you then click Fuse, you'll see that your new ribbon view appears in both analyzers. You'll probably note that you can't see the score. This is because you have to add the metric for score from the Metrics tab. Click the Metrics tab again. Open the Deltek Acumen Fuse group, then right-click on Score and select Add to Phase Analyzer and Add to Ribbon Analyzer. Then click Fuse. So there we have our first metric group to compare critical activities and float between 0 and 10 days. We're going to work through the 4 steps for creating a basic metric. Okay, now we're going to create a basic metric primary formula. So click on the Metrics tab, then select My Group in the Metrics pane. In the top menu, click on New Metric, and a new metric will open in My Group. In the metric editor, change the name to Successor Lags. Then add a description. Let's type in number of activities with a successor lag. In the remarks field, type includes activities with a status planned and in progress. Includes activity types normal and milestones. Next, we'll move to the Inclusions pane. Under the activity status, only select Planned and In Progress. In Activity Type, deselect Summary and Level of Effort. For the time phase, select the radio button for Finish. These are activities that finish in this period. Then for prorating, select On. This means that the phase analyzer takes time periods into account when it analyzes activities. If prorating is off, the phase analyzer ignores time periods when it analyzes activities. Note that if you apply prorating on the primary formula tab, it is recommended that you also apply it to the secondary formula if you are using a secondary formula. Next, we're going to create a filter for number of successor lags greater than 0. So click Add in the Filters pane and scroll in the list until we find Number of Successor Lags. Select Greater Than for the operator and 0 for the value. Click Enter. Now click the S2 Diagnostics tab to open the Diagnostics window. The sample workbook should still be open, so click on the Metric tab on the left. You'll see our new metric for successor lags in My Group. Right-click on it, then select Add to All Analyzers, then click Fuse. You'll see our new metric has been added to the metrics in the ribbon and phase analyzers. In the Successor Lags metrics, you'll note that all of the different successor lags are visible in both analyzers. Now we're going to move on and create a basic metric secondary formula. So click on the Metrics tab. Then in the Metrics pane, select the metric for successor lags in My Group. Then click the tab for Secondary Formula and make sure to check the option in the tab to turn it on. As we know, secondary formulas are created in a similar way to primary formulas. Now we want to copy the inclusions from the primary formula. So click Copy from Primary Formula and note the changes. Next, ignore the Filters pane. Lastly, because it is a basic metric, we will make sure to select the radio button for percentage of primary formula in the Formula pane. In the bottom Formula Format field, leave the selection as %, no decimals. Next, click the S2 Diagnostics tab and click Fuse. In the metric cells for successor lags in both analyzers, you'll see that the percentages are now displayed. However, you'll note that you are unable to select any of the successor lag cells to show activities in the activity browser. This is because we have not yet defined a tripwire formula. So next, we're going to create a basic metric tripwire formula. Click on the Metrics tab, then in the Metrics pane, select the metric for successor lags in My Group. Now, click the tab for tripwire formula and make sure that it is switched on by checking the option. In the Formula pane, make sure that the radio button for Auto calculated by primary formula is selected. That's all we need to do. So once again, select the S2 Diagnostics tab and click Fuse. Then select any of the successor lags cells. You will note that the corresponding activities are now displayed in the activity browser. But you'll note that no tripwire thresholds and colors have been defined. Now we must remember that the same methodology for tripwire thresholds applies to both basic and advanced metrics. So here, for our basic metric, we're going to set the number of threshold levels, names, colors, values, and descriptions. Click on the Metrics tab. Then highlight the metric for successor lags. Next, in the Editor pane, select the tab to open tripwire thresholds. It should currently be blank. From the Color Scales pull-down, select Lowest is Better, then choose 4 intervals. You'll see that the intervals are automatically populated with descriptions, colors, and values. Now go back to the S2 Diagnostics tab and click Fuse. You'll see that the successor lag cells are now colored. Now return to Metrics by clicking the Metrics tab. Make sure that you have selected the Tripwire Thresholds tab in the Editor pane. Then click the New button in the top menu to add a level. Give it a name, New Value, with a value of 0.6. The boundary criteria for the previous level will automatically adjust to accommodate the new level. For the color, choose Deep Red from the color palette. Now you can click on S2 Diagnostics again and click Fuse to see if there are any changes. You will note that there are changes in both the phase and intersection analyzers. Click Save to save the workbook and metrics that you have created. In the next lesson, we will learn how to define our own advanced metrics. In this lesson, we will learn how to define our own advanced metrics. So click the Fuse icon and open the sample workbook from recent workbooks. Then click on the Metrics tab to open the Metrics workspace. Now firstly, we need to decide whether our metric is going to be an advanced or basic metric. So we need to decide if our primary formula contains inclusions, filters, and Excel formula array syntax. If the answer is yes, then we will be defining an advanced metric. So let's go ahead and create an advanced metric primary formula. We've already created a new metrics group named My Group. So highlight My Group in the left metrics pane. Then in the top menu, click the button for New Metric. In the Editor pane, rename the metric to Max Cost. Then add a description. Let's type in number of activities with a maximum cost in this period. In the Remarks field, type includes activities with a status equal to planned, in progress and completed. Includes activity types equal to normal and milestone activities that start and finish in this period. Leave the metric type as activity count and check the boxes for the 3 types of analysis. In the Inclusions pane, select all of the options for activity status. For activity type, select normal and milestone. Next, set the time phase for all activities in the period. Leave prorating on. Next, we won't define any filters for this metric. In the Formula pane, click on the Advanced Radio button. This will enable the formula field to the left. So place your mouse cursor in the formula field and you'll see it blinking. Now from the top menu, click the pull down for the Common Function Library and select Max. Note that this function can also be found in the Statistical Library. Then click the Insert Fields button on the right to open up a list of available fields. Scroll down the list until you find Total Cost, then highlight it. You'll see all of the field values in the right pane of this window. Click the Insert Field button to insert this field into the formula. Then in the bottom field, set the formula format to currency, no decimals. On the right, click the button for Check Formula and a pop-up should tell us that the syntax is OK. Our formula is correct, so click OK. Now we have our primary formula. Now click the S2 Diagnostics tab and click Fuse. Now we want to add our max cost metric to the ribbon and phase analyzers. So from the Metrics tab on the left, right-click on our new metric in My Group and select Add to All Analyzers. Then click Fuse to view the results in all of the analyzers. This looks okay, so we'll move on to our secondary formula definition. So click on the Metrics tab, then in the Metrics pane, select the metric for max cost in My Group. Then click the tab for secondary formula and make sure to check the option in the tab to turn it on. As we know, secondary formulas are created in a similar way to primary formulas. Now we want to copy the inclusions from the primary formula, so click Copy from Primary Formula and note the changes, if any. Next, we are going to ignore the Filters pane. Now we want to define a secondary formula that is based on our primary formula. It is also going to include Excel syntax. Make sure that you selected the Advanced Radio button to enable the formula field. Then in the primary formula, highlight the formula, then right-click and select Copy. Then in the secondary formula field, right-click and select Paste. This means that our secondary formula is now exactly the same as our primary formula. Now we're going to add to the formula. So on the right of the formula syntax, enter a divide symbol or /. Then click the button for Insert Fields. This time scroll down the list until you reach workbook.cost. Highlight workbook.cost and click the button for Insert. Note that our new secondary formula is now max total cost divided by workbook.cost. Click the Check Formula button to confirm that the syntax is correct. Lastly, in the formula format field, we will have %, no decimals, so our output is now going to be a % value. Let's see what it looks like in the Diagnostics pane. So click the S2 Diagnostics tab and click Fuse to view our results. There you will see our secondary formula displayed in all the analyzers as % values. Now let's define our advanced metric tripwire formula. So click on the Metrics tab, then in the Metrics pane, select the metric for max cost in My Group. Now click the tab for tripwire formula and make sure that it is switched on by checking the option. Now we want to copy the inclusions from the primary formula. So click Copy from Primary Formula and note the changes, if any. Next, we're going to ignore the Filters pane. In the Formula pane, you'll note that the radio button for Auto calculated by primary formula is unavailable. The Advanced option is automatically selected because the primary formula is in the Advanced mode. Now click the Formula pane and confirm that your cursor is flashing. Type the following formula: and total cost equals max total cost. Make sure that your brackets are correct. Then check the syntax by clicking the Check Formula button. If you have typed the formula correctly, the syntax should be correct. Note that you could have constructed this formula syntax from the function libraries and insert fields. All looking good, so click S2 Diagnostics and click Fuse to view our results. Click on any of the analyzer fields for max cost and confirm that the selected activities are visible in the activity browser. To check, let's click the max cost cell for current schedule. The activity browser should show the activity 0260 EPC Design. Click the Metrics tab. Now we need to define our tripwire thresholds and colors. So we know that the same methodology for tripwire thresholds applies to both basic and advanced metrics. Here, for our advanced metric, we're going to set the number of threshold levels, names, colors, values, and descriptions. Next, in the Editor pane, select the tab for tripwire thresholds. It should currently be blank. Then highlight the metric for max cost in My Group. From the Color Scales pull-down, select Highest is Better, then choose 4 intervals. You'll see that the levels are automatically populated with descriptions, colors, and values. Now let's add one more level by clicking the New button in the top menu. Then rename the new threshold from Threshold 5 to Very High. From the color palette, choose a color, say pale blue. Then for the value, select 1. Now go back to the S2 Diagnostics tab and click Fuse. You'll see that the max cost cells are now colored. Click the Fuse icon, then select Close. Do not save the workbook. In the next lesson, we will work through an exercise on the 4 steps for creating a metric.